Hello everyone, welcome to Cortlandtville Historical Society's first educational video on life in the 18th century. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the clothing that people would have been wearing in the Revolutionary period. What I'm wearing now is something that would have been common for a young woman, probably doing some work around the house, possibly on a shop or farm or something like that. And you can see I've only partially started getting dressed to show you all the different layers that are made up of it. So here, this white part is my shift. This is something that I would be wearing almost 24/7. This is the base layer, something that I would be sleeping in as a nightgown, as well as wearing under my clothes during the day. I might have one or two to change, occasionally washing, but this is a time period when we don't have electric laundry and things that can make cleaning our clothes that much easier, so you would spread that out as much as possible. The next layer are my stays. So this is essentially a support layer. It goes from what you can see here to about my waist, and then it keeps my posture straight and kind of holds and supports me that way. The next layer I'm going to add is my fichu or kerchief. And this is just an outer layer to kind of add a little bit of protection to keep the rest of my clothing clean. And this will go outside on the back of my short gown, this part here, but I am going to tuck it underneath my petticoat, which today we would call the skirt. So that holds together there. And this is a modern reproduction of 18th century clothes. So I have these convenient little hooks to keep it in place. But in the 18th century, I would have been using straight pins to hold the front closed. So you can see I have my kerchief still out, but it's tucked in the front because I do have some other layers to add on. This is my pocket, which I could have worn underneath the petticoat. It actually does have openings on the side, and that was a common design. So I could hide the pocket underneath, and if I was wearing one that was maybe made of scrap cloth or just something plain, I might use it that way. But this is one that I've actually embroidered and put some work into the design of. So I might wear this a little bit more out so it can be seen on occasion. And the pocket has things like my pocket watch, which would be something of a luxury at this time, but a woman maybe from a fairly well-off middle-class family might have one. And a handkerchief and things like that. So because I'm wearing it as an outer layer, I'm still going to put it under the short gown, but I will leave it outside the petticoat. And it just ties around my waist. I can position it wherever I want. So even if I did have one or two extra outfits that I wanted to change, I could always have the pocket and everything in it quickly added on. And this was a staple of women's clothing. Every woman would want to have sewing materials, tools, maybe that pocket watch or the handkerchief or anything else that she expects to need quickly. Next is another protective layer, my apron. So aprons come in a number of different styles. This one is a pinner apron. So you might be used to picturing aprons almost sitting the way it is now, just covering the lower half of my body. But this one has this bib that I can hold up. And as I mentioned before with the front of the short gown, I'm using just regular pins to hold that bib in place. And I have found that pinning it back, again, is a good way so I don't poke myself while I'm moving my hands and doing things throughout the day. but that would have been mostly how a woman did the pins would have just been whatever she found worked best for her. Finally, my hair has been done up, and this would have been almost a requirement of daily life in the 18th century. A woman is not going to have her hair falling loose, especially if she is doing any kind of work. Keeping house warm involves a fire. I don't want to lean over an open fire with my hair falling out. I don't want to be outside in the wind with it getting blown around and knotted and getting dust and debris and everything in it, because again, this is not a time where I can easily turn on a hot shower to wash my hair. I would have to fetch water, warm it up, so I want to minimize how often I need to wash my hair. So keeping it tied up is the best way to keep it out of my way and clean. And as an added precaution, I have a cap. So caps could come in lots of different styles. This one I have the little decorative ribbon because this is near my face. It's where people are looking at me a lot, so I want to have something that looks nice and appealing as well as practical of it's covering my hair, keeping it even more protected, as well as just being an extra accessory for me. So thank you for joining me, and that will be it for our first video. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll continue to watch in later weeks to see what else we have to offer.